You replay conversations long after they're over. You notice shifts in tone no one else seems to hear. You sit quietly in rooms, but your mind never stops moving. You don't interrupt. You don't react fast. You observe. And sometimes you wonder if that's strength or something else. Why does your brain refuse to rest? You are the quiet one, the one who listens more than speaks. In group settings, you measure the room before you say a word. You scan faces. You track mood changes. You analyze what was said and what wasn't. Later, when you're alone, you replay everything. That one sentence, that one look, that pause. You wonder, did I say too much? Did I say too little? Did they misunderstand me? This pattern doesn't just stay in conversations. It shapes your decisions. You hesitate before sending messages. You delay choices. You overthink career moves. You avoid conflict because you can already imagine 10 possible outcomes. Your self-talk becomes cautious, careful, sometimes critical. And slowly, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as intuitive. You start seeing yourself as too much, too sensitive, too analytical, too slow. But this isn't random. It's a pattern. And patterns don't appear without a reason. You are not broken. You are adaptive. The quiet observer, the emotional absorber, the conflict avoider, the overthinking analyzer. These are not personality flaws. They are survival strategies. Your brain learned that paying attention keeps you safe, that scanning emotional shifts prevents rejection, that thinking ahead avoids embarrassment. At some point, your nervous system decided, let's stay alert, let's stay aware, let's reduce risk. And awareness became identity. But survival mode, when left running too long, turns into exhaustion. The question isn't, why are you like this? The question is, when did your brain decide it needed to be this careful? Let's slow this down. Your brain has a system called the threat detection network. At its center is the amygdala, a small structure that scans for danger. For some people, danger means physical risk. For you, danger often means social risk, rejection, conflict, disapproval, misunderstanding. Your amygdala flags subtle cues, a slight shift in tone, a delayed reply, a raised eyebrow. It sends a signal. The prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, then tries to solve the problem. It replays the scene. It predicts outcomes. It simulates future conversations. Overthinking isn't weakness. It's your brain running simulations, like a computer opening too many tabs. Each tab asks, what if? And because the brain prefers certainty, it keeps searching. But here's the metaphor. Imagine your mind as a security guard. At first, the guard protects the building. Over time, the guard starts suspecting everyone, even guests. Eventually, the guard never rests. That's hypervigilance. And hypervigilance feels like personality, but it's really a nervous system that never clocked out. Now add emotional absorption. Mirror neurons, cells that help you understand others, activate when you observe someone's emotion. For highly attuned individuals, these neurons fire strongly. You don't just notice tension, you feel it. Your nervous system mirrors it. So when someone is upset, your body reacts too, which makes you want to fix it or avoid it. And that's how conflict avoidance forms. Not from weakness, but from overload. When the system detects too much emotional noise, it seeks silence. But silence has a cost, and we'll come back to that. Let's move carefully here, not toward confidence hacks, but toward nervous system recalibration. Step 1. Name the simulation. What to do. When you catch yourself replaying a moment, say internally, "This is a simulation." Why it works. Labeling activates the prefrontal cortex and reduces amygdala reactivity. Research shows that naming an emotion or process lowers emotional intensity. Example: you're lying in bed replaying a conversation. Instead of diving deeper, you say, "My brain is simulating outcomes." The intensity drops slightly, because now you are observing the process, not drowning in it. Step 2. Limit the tabs. What to do? Give overthinking a container. Set a 10-minute reflection window. Why it works. The brain respects boundaries. When you create a defined window, you reduce rumination loops. Cognitive behavioral therapy often uses time-bound reflection to prevent mental spirals. Example: you allow yourself 10 minutes after a meeting to think it through. When time ends, you redirect attention, not by force, but by structure. The security guard doesn't need to patrol all night. Step 3. Regulate before you analyze. What to do? Before analyzing a social situation, regulate your body. Slow breathing, grounding, physical movement. Why it works. The body and brain are linked. If your nervous system is activated, your thoughts become threat-focused. Regulating the body calms the amygdala, which reduces catastrophic thinking. Example: instead of replaying an argument immediately, you go for a 10-minute walk. Then reflect. The tone of your thoughts changes. Step 4. Practice micro-conflict. What to do? Disagree in small, safe ways. Why it works. Exposure therapy principles apply socially too. Small exposures retrain the brain that conflict does not equal catastrophe. Example: you say, "I see it differently," not aggressively, just honestly. Your brain records, "I survived," and slowly the threat level lowers. Step 5. Separate observation from identity. What to do? Replace "I am an overthinker" with "I have an observant brain." Why it works. Language shapes neural pathways. Identity-based labeling strengthens patterns. Process-based language weakens rigidity. Example: instead of "I'm just like this," you say, "My brain learned to scan." That's flexible. And flexibility is freedom. Here's the simple mental model. Your mind is a security system. It was installed for protection. It became overactive. You are not the alarm. You are the building. When the alarm goes off, you don't destroy the building. You recalibrate the system. Observation is strength. Awareness is intelligence. But constant scanning is exhaustion. Your goal is not to become less observant. It's to become less threatened. There's a difference. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You've spent years being the one who notices everything, the one who thinks deeply, the one who feels shifts in energy. That's not a flaw. It's sensitivity paired with intelligence. But sensitivity without regulation turns into fatigue. You don't need to shut down your mind. You don't need to become louder. You don't need to force confidence. You only need to teach your nervous system that you are safe, because safety is what your brain has been searching for all along. And sometimes, the quietest people in the room are not the weakest. They are simply the most aware. The goal is not to stop observing. It's to observe without fear. And when your mind begins to replay tonight, pause and ask yourself, is this protection or is this an old alarm still ringing? Let that question sit. If this felt familiar, you're not alone in it. Write one word in the comments that describes how your mind feels most of the time. Not for the algorithm, for awareness. And if you want to understand your patterns without shame or noise, subscribe to Mind Patterns. We're not here to fix you, we're here to understand you.